everybody. Welcome. This is a new feature we are trying. This is the Vancouver Life, I guess, weekly report. Gosh, now that I think about it, we haven't even come up with a name because it's that fresh. But
Yeah.
essentially what it is the Vancouver market is moving so incredibly fast, and there are so many anecdotal stories to share with people that will really help educate them to make their quick decisions in a quick moving market. So we're going to start doing this every single week. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be out, I think, every Saturday. This is the first one, so bear with us. Hopefully, technically, we're all good here. But we wanted to touch on a number of very important, I guess, aspects, real estate aspects, every single week. And I think to start us off here, Ryan, just last Wednesday, Bank of Canada, no surprise, held the overnight policy rate at 0.25%.
Yeah.
On top of that, of course, they also mentioned that they are going to continue their quantitative easing at the rate of $4 billion worth of bond purchasing per week, and that they're going to keep these rates pinned to the bottom until at least 2023. This is obviously creating a ton of consumer confidence in the market for two reasons. One, again, as we have probably mentioned before a few times, the straight definition of that quantitative easing results in asset prices inflating, real estate prices inflating. So you've got the government and the Bank of Canada saying, we're going to make real estate prices go up, and we're going to make it incredibly inexpensive for you to buy these types of assets. So everybody is essentially flooding in. Would you say that's a fair analogy?
Well, I think we've actually got data that supports it, right? And that's what we're kind of why we want to be on here so often, is because the market seems to be changing at such a pace now, where even a once a month update is really not going to suffice. And here's why. I mean, we took a listing in Burke Mountain. Dan was the lead on the listing at 1505 Dayton, and it was listed, there's 3,800 square feet. And it was a beautiful single family home. Actually, Dan, why don't you tell them about the listing that sold the month before? Because I think that's really important.
Yeah, for sure. So we're talking about, again, Burke Mountain, Coquitlam, top of the hill here. Very nice family homes, right? 6-bed, 4-bath family homes built by Polygon's housing development division called Morningstar. Last month, middle of December, 1410 Dayton, 6-bedroom home, which did include a fully finished 2-bedroom suite downstairs. Nice home, not as nice a backyard, listed for 1.55, 23 groups, 12 offers, 7 subject free, sold for 1,615. So when we
phenomenal number. Phenomenal number.
For sure.
Yeah.
Everybody, well, sellers were happy.
For the seller.
Sellers were happy. So fast forward 1 month, almost to the day, we list 1505 Dayton, right? Very similar property, except the downstairs was finished, but not suited, but the backyard was superior. The sellers had put in a bunch of money to make it super level, built-in barbecue, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Held offers till Monday, so we had 7 days of showings. 63 groups through. Compare that to the 23 a month before. That elevated to 63.
So 3 times the level of buyers entering the market too. That doesn't mention all of the buyers that lost on the first one, right? So there's that group of buyers. And then there's 2 times that again coming into the market the next month.
Yeah. Resulted in 17 offers. 11 of those were subject free. Winning offer, and this is the same list price of $1.55 million, sold $1,722,000. We're $173,000 over asking price. That's with $100,000 more, $108,000 more 1 month later for basically the same product.
Yeah, and the other thing to consider there is, and it's a big piece, it's the other side of the table if it never gets looked at, which is there was $20 million in offers made that night on that home, and over $1 million in bank drafts that were placed on the table that night.
Yeah, so because these were subject free, ready to buy, draft in hand, saying, here you go, you accept our offer, this is deposited right away. So $1 million worth of those were just sitting on tables.
Yeah. So, I mean, anecdotal evidence like that, I mean, if you're basing this on the fact that you got a pretty good, BC assessment, well, it's just no longer even relevant. So you're going to have to check in with, ideally with us, but with your real estate professional to make sure, find out where your home's at, because it's moving every month, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So detached homes are remaining the most in-demand product right now. And this is across the full spectrum of areas, right? GBRD, the Valley, the Island. I just tried to book a showing for a Mission detached suite home. Mission. And every single viewing slot is full. Buyers can't even get in to see homes that they want to buy right now.
Well, I mean, there was a story we read the other day where bully offers are coming in, and bully offers are actually when a seller decides to hold offers on a certain day and the buyer goes, I don't care, here's my offer. We're seeing now competition at the bully level offer. So that means, the listing agent will then pick up the phone and call everybody back and say, hey, look, I got a bully offer. And then instead of waiting or saying, no, sorry, we're not going to look at it, they all write offers, and they're all going into multiple offers in a bully situation, which is so aggressive.
This is actually the first I have heard of that. Right. So we keep making all these references, to 2016, because it's just feels like that all over again with the level of volume and interest and FOMO and pricing and offers that we're seeing. But that's a whole new level.
Yeah. And I mean,
multiples at the bully level. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And I think the other side of it is, we're not seeing anyone pitching tents outside of new developments yet, but the question is that coming?
Right. Yeah.
Because we've seen it before.
That's right. Pre-sales are, we believe, we see the lagging sort of indicator, right? When resale explodes, pre-sale will follow, and vice versa, right? When resale dies, pre-sale dies with it. So it kind of follows. So yeah, I think, Ryan, you're onto something good there, that everybody should expect the pre-sale market to pick up substantially in the next few months here.
The other thing that is worth talking about too, we were involved in a purchase on the east side of Vancouver in half duplex. And I mean, the competition there is just as fierce. I mean, it was a beautiful place. I mean, only 1 year old, and went into multiple offers. That very same property sold a month later, same situation as we've got in Burke Mountain. The same product would have sold in November for $150,000
less.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's very true. Right. So we're seeing, that 1.5 price point that you could get into a half duplex, sort of Mount Pleasant, Grandview Woodland areas. Those are going those are going for 1.7 in January now. Like we're literally seeing 150K lift in 3 to 4 months for that product.
Yeah, and that's in a half duplex product, right?
Yeah, this isn't even a detached home.
Yeah,
it's wild. Here's a fun one. This one's big too. This is a number. This is something worth paying attention to. Mm-hmm. Realtor.ca, right? A website that a lot of people visit to start their home search. Right. Mm-hmm. We all know about 97% of people start their home search online. Realtor.ca is one of the most common. Just this week, January 27th, on Wednesday, they eclipsed 1 million views in one day. Now, that's a big number, sure, but how does it correlate, Ryan? Let them know.
Yeah, so this very same time last year, that number is up 92%. So we're talking twice the amount of people this time last year are just looking, which means the interest level, it's on their radars. They're likely getting pre-approved. That wave, to me, certainly feels like it's coming, even just by, we're in the process right now of taking on a number of listings. And, some of the times when we're in there with the photographers, we'll leak the odd photograph or something to that effect. The amount of people that are reaching out to me right now and saying, hey, where is this? What is it? Tell me more about it, because they've obviously looked at the very low supply of inventory that's on the market right now, and they're desperate for something that fits their needs, right? So we're getting inundated right now with buyers and sellers asking all kinds of questions, right? So it's a very interesting time, and it's going to be a very busy month.
Yeah. So I just thought of a couple other interesting data points here about Dayton. We always do pre-campaigns before we sell a home, which essentially just means we're marketing the property before it hits the MLS.
Yeah.
That pre-campaign this year resulted in a bully offer, right? So we had offers on a home before it hit the market. And then once it hit the market and before offer date, 3 additional bully offers came in, right? So that gives you a sense of how, I don't say desperate, but how needy people are. Like they'll fight tooth and nail to get into properties right now because they have to, right? Because here we go. Here's, like we said, 17 offers. That's 16 families today looking for a similar home.
Yeah.
Didn't get it last Monday.
Yeah, and these families are also they're local families, but they're also families that may have moved here in the last year or two, right? So there's a lot of new immigrants as well, and we just don't have the housing supply, and we're really feeling that right now. Nationally, even speaking, we're down tremendously in terms of supply numbers. And then when you start feeding the marketplace with low interest rate environments, and you're supplying the economy and the people with purchasing power. It's a kind of a perfect storm to drive prices north, right? Which is exactly what the quantitative easing is supposed to do. So,
and what about condos? Because we were talking detached, which have been in high demand for over a year. It's trickling down to your non-strata townhomes, half duplexes.
Totally.
But for the first time, really, since the pandemic, there's a lot of rumblings now about condos that were completely ignored for the last few months, suddenly getting not only offers, but sometimes multiple offers. This is turning now.
Yeah. Last week, I had clients, we were looking at a property that had been on the market for 132 days. Originally listed in the 1.7s, then price reduced into the 1.6s and down into the 1.5s. And when we eventually entered into a negotiation, 132 days later after listing the property, we were in multiple offers. And this is a 3-bed,
right,
west of Denman, in a 35-year-old building with $3 to $4 million worth of special levies coming in the next 5 years. That's the kind of fight that we're starting to see perk up again. Mm-hmm. And I really think that, with this low supply, if you own a condo, there's something to really consider here, because if you're planning to sell, I think a lot of the people right now that are trying to buy duplexes and townhomes are going to run out of supply pretty quick, because we just can't feed the market with the amount of demand that's in it, which means those buyers are going to go either into the single family market, or they're going to reduce that and go back to the condo market and start looking at bigger condos and stuff like that. So I really feel that we're going to start to see supply get chewed into in the condo side of things in the very near future as well, which will eventually push price there, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think we're seeing some buyer fatigue. And if people are fighting to buy, let's say that half duplex, and they're outbid 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks in a row, they're like, okay, I can't get into this product right now because I don't feel good overpaying or whatever they feel there. So why don't they look at a condo? Because similar price point for a really nice one, and they can maybe get it without having to compete, and they can actually negotiate.
Yeah, I mean, at some point here, some of these buyers are going to just get priced out. I mean, if the market continues to move at $100,000 a month, in some cases, it's just you're going to run out of buyers. They're just not going to be able to do that. Which means those buyers are now going to compete for a different asset class. They're going to drop down, or they're going to go to a different neighborhood, one of the two, right?
Yep.
So, I expect that, generally speaking, we're low on supply everywhere. So it's just a matter of time really before condos start really feeling the heat too.
Absolutely. So a couple more quick ones here, but to wrap it up, there's been I'm actually looking at this online here. 2,349 homes sold in January so far. 5-year high. Dating back to guess what year? 2016, right? We haven't seen this many homes sold in January since 2016. Mm-hmm. And, it may even eclipse that. And interestingly, again, the luxury, ultra market is absolutely staying on fire right now. A couple odd stories this month. There were 2 homes that sold for $10 million and $10,500,000. Both of them sold one day on market. Interesting, right? I don't have much more of a story for you there. Maybe we'll contact the agents and see if they can share anything. Probably won't, but hey, we'd all like to know. But it is important to know also, 11 homes over the $7 million price point have sold just this month.
And then Dan and I have been tracking that for some time. And I think that's the highest number to date, isn't it?
Well, I always used 8 as the trigger kind of thing. And it was always around 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we're at 6 homes over 8 million have sold in January of 2021. Plus the one.
Yeah. So the total dollar figure it's going to be higher.
Yes. Yeah. There's been $2.5 billion worth of real estate sold in GVRD this month.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So that's, there you go. Yeah. That's our first report.
Yeah, if you're out there, get educated and get prepared for if you're trying to buy anyhow, be prepared for a bit of a fist fight.
Yeah, we definitely help our buyers win every single week in multiples. If you're having
Yep.
troubles, we're happy to have a conversation. And if you are thinking of selling, you're going to achieve an incredible price point right now, and we can help guide you through how to maximize that price in this landscape.
Strategy being the most important part, especially in a rising market, right? Because it's very easy to list too high.
Also true. Yeah. Great. Thank you so much for watching the first one. We hope you enjoyed.